This is Jeb Blunt, and it's Money Monday on the Sales Gravy Podcast.
Say make money, money, make money, money, money. Make money, money, make money, money, money. Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need that Skrilla on the rilla.
All right, it's Monday, the most important day of the week, because when you start your week strong, you end your week strong. So seize this day and make it count. Now, I've got a question for you. Am I going to see you at the Outbound Conference this year? Am I going to get to shake your hand and meet you? Well, look, if you've already got your ticket, congratulations, because this year is going to be our best year ever. We're in an incredible 5-star venue. The speaker lineup is powerful, and the networking opportunities will help you take your career to new heights. If you don't have your ticket yet, you want to go to outboundconference.com. That's outboundconference.com. We sell out of tickets every single year because Outbound is the world's biggest, baddest sales and leadership training conference, and it's an experience like none other. So don't wait. Go get your ticket today at outboundconference.com. Here's a question that might sting a little. As a sales professional, are you just friction with a friendly face? Think about it. A whole lot of salespeople are good people. They're polite, they're fun to be around, and they're good conversationalists. They're good at building relationships and getting along with people. They're the type of people that buyers say they like. The problem is those same buyers who say they like these salespeople, they often don't buy from them. They stall, they ghost, they go dark, and they say things like, let's circle back next quarter, but they never pull the trigger on purchases. When push comes to shove, they'll often justify not buying with words like, we really liked you and thought you had a great presentation, but in the end, we decided to go in a different direction. The truth is that they went in that direction not because of the relationship. They truly liked you. Not because your product isn't competitive or your solution wasn't a fit. They were. And not because they thought your intentions were bad. They decided not to do business with you because dealing with you over the course of the buying process was just too much work. And by the way, buyers don't experience your good intentions, they experience your process. So on this Money Monday, I'm going to give you a wake-up call because in the age of AI, people expect seamless, frictionless buying experiences, and they compare you, consciously or not, to the easiest experience they've had anywhere, not just with your competitors. Let me paint a picture. A buyer sits through a discovery call with you. You're friendly, you build rapport, you ask some good questions, and they ask some hard questions. And you end the call with this. Hey, thank you for your time today. I'll get with my team and I'll send over answers to your questions. They say okay, and you end the call. A week goes by and they don't hear from you because you moved on to the next thing on your list and you forgot to follow up with your team and with them. Finally, after a week and a half of waiting, they remind you that you haven't provided any answers to their questions. You jump on it and you send over the answers, but it's not your best work because you were under the gun and moving too fast. 3 days later, you send an email. Hey, just checking in, wanted to see if I answered your questions. But the buyer's busy. They got a million things going on and they're irritated because you didn't give them the complete answers they were looking for. And now your email is another item piled on their overflowing plate. So they don't respond. And then you send another email, bumping this to the top of your inbox. Trust me on this. Overwhelmed people just love it when you bump stuff to the top of their inbox. You create even more irritation. Then you call and leave a voicemail, just following up on the answers I sent you. Now you're thinking, I'm being persistent, I'm doing my job. And they're thinking, you made me follow up on you to get the answers I needed, then you failed to get me what I wanted, and now this is suddenly urgent? From their perspective, no matter how nice you've been, you are friction. Your delays slow down their decision-making process, the conversation was left open-ended, and now all they have is loose ends and you driving them nuts. Here's the brutal truth. Relationships are important and trust matters, but relationships only carry you so far if buying from you isn't easy or pleasurable. You can be likable and still be a drag. You can be a great person and still be the person the buyer avoids because every step with you along the decision-making process comes with friction. And the thing about friction is that it shows up in small ways that feel normal to you, but are exhausting to your buyer. Here's just a few examples. Meetings that end with no decision map or next steps. Follow-up messages that add no new value. Slow answers to simple questions. When stakeholders are having to push you. The buyer repeating the same story over and over because you aren't listening and taking notes. Your failure to follow through when you say you will. And proposals that are just generic marketing brochures rather than personalized recommendations and value bridges. And the problem is getting worse right now because of AI. And I don't mean this in some hypey AI is changing everything way. I mean that AI is retraining your buyers. You see, buyers are being conditioned to expect frictionless experiences, instant answers, clear options, smart recommendations, and smooth paths from questions to answers to decisions. So when they hit your sales process and it feels like walking through mud, they notice. They may not say it out loud, but their behavior says it for them. They stall faster, they ghost faster, and they lose patience faster. This is a big part of what I talk about in my best-selling book, The AI Edge. Your edge isn't that you use AI to crank out more activity. Your edge is that you understand the expectation shift and use AI to help you reach that new bar. And in the age of AI, the new bar is faster with less friction. It's for this reason that you need to combine your gift for connecting with people and developing relationships with leveraging AI to make progress faster, to follow up faster, answer questions and provide clarity faster, give insight faster, understand your buyers' organizations and their problems faster, deliver proposals and recommendations faster, and help your buyers feel trust and certainty faster, all with less friction for those buyers. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to run what I call a friction audit. This takes 5 minutes and it will tell you exactly what's killing your deals. Score yourself 1 to 5 with these 7 things. Start with clarity. After every interaction, does the buyer know exactly what happens next? Speed. Do you respond at the speed of the buyer's curiosity or the speed of your internal processes? Effort. Are you reducing the buyer's workload or adding to it? Progress. Do your meetings create decisions and movement or just conversation? Packaging. Do you make it easy for the buyer to share your insights, information, and recommendations internally to their team? Certainty. Do you reduce uncertainty and risk, or do you create more? And reliability. Do you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it without reminders? Now, after you look in the mirror and add it all up, if you don't like the number, don't get defensive. Start with changing your mindset because the fix is simple. You got to stop trying to be liked and start making it easier to work with you. Because if you're just friction with a friendly face, in today's marketplace, you are going to get crushed by competitors who are friendly, competent, fast, and frictionless. But I want to be crystal clear. Frictionless doesn't mean spineless. It doesn't mean that you turn into a people-pleasing slave to your buyer's every whim, and it certainly doesn't mean handing out discounts like candy to make buyers happy. It means that you run a sales process with structure, discipline, and competence, and that you understand that the buying experience and how you sell matters more than what you sell. If you want to get started eliminating friction in your sales process, here are 2 easy actions you can implement immediately that will reduce that friction. Start by ending every meeting with a map and a next step commitment. The map is simply clarity on who does what, by when, and what done looks like. Too many sales calls end with vague commitments. I'll send you some more information. Let's reconnect next week. Think about it and let me know. That is not a map or a next step. Those instead are loose ends and friction. A map sounds like this. Here's what will happen next. I'm going to send over a detailed proposal by Wednesday at noon, and then you and your team can review it on Friday. We'll reconvene on Monday at 2 p.m. to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. Will that work for you? A map is clear, specific, and has no ambiguity. You are leading the process and driving it forward to a conclusion. Next, turn your proposals into recommendations. Instead of just dumping choices on your buyer and saying, let me know what you think, give them options and your recommended path. It might sound like this. Based on what you've told me, here are 3 options. Option A is a safe play. It's the lowest risk, but only gives you a moderate impact. Option B is my recommendation because it solves your core problem and gives you room to scale. Now, option C is the aggressive play. It's also a higher investment with the highest potential return and the highest risk. Here's why I'm recommending option B. That confident, assertive, expert advice reduces friction and it helps your buyer make faster decisions. And here's where AI comes in, and this is critical. If we're honest, most sellers use AI to write emails, and that's fine, but it's not the edge. The edge is using AI to remove friction for your buyer and to shorten the distance from interest to decision. You can use AI to generate decision-ready recaps with outcomes, risk, open items, next steps, and deadlines to speed up the process of understanding your buyer's organization and beef up your industry-specific business acumen, to create one-page business cases that buyers can forward internally along with stakeholder-specific FAQs, and to record your meetings so that you never forget anything the stakeholders tell you, and you can use those recordings to speed up the process of crafting personalized proposals and expert recommendations. I'm going to wrap up with my final thoughts in just a moment, but first a quick favor. If you like this podcast, if it's helping you sell more, please do me a solid and give it 5 stars, and when possible, post a short review. Your ratings on your podcast app are the most powerful way to boost visibility for this podcast and get the word out. The bottom line is that the relationships you build are crucial, but they're not enough because people do business with people they like, trust, and who remove friction from the buying process. They reward sellers who engineer a buying experience that feels seamless. But if you're just friction with a friendly face and buying from you feels like a slog, buyers will do what people always do when something feels too onerous. They'll avoid it, they'll delay it, or they'll take the path of least resistance with your competitor. The world has changed. Buyers have been retrained by frictionless experiences everywhere else in their lives, and they're bringing those expectations to you. So be the seller who is both likable and easy, who builds relationships and eliminates friction, and who uses AI not to spam harder, but to sell better. That is the AI edge. And remember, when you are tired, when you're worn down, and you feel like you can't take another objection, when all you want to do is quit and go home, always stop and make one more call. This is Jeb Blunt, and I'll see you next time on the Sales Gravy Podcast.
Survival of the fittest, you can sink or swim. I've been broke, I ain't never going back again. I need some C-notes, some cheddar, and a stack of ends. I need a bowl of dough, I don't need no Facebook friends. I need a pack of them snaps, a handful of Fetty Wops, and rubber band on my greenbacks. Look, dawg, don't be playing with my paper. I need every red cent, that's why I brought my little scraper.